Do you ever wonder why things happen the way they do? Maybe sometimes you have regrets and wish that you could have done things differently. But how? Do you ever feel that you are in a loop that's hard to get out of? How could things really be different? And are you living the life you intended? Do you sometimes wonder why you are here, or wondering who is the real you? Often things do not turn out the way we want, and this can lead to having stress, anxiety, even depression, even illness. It seems not so easy to have a calm and enjoyable life with a sense of fulfillment. And recently, we have witnessed even more turmoil and unhappiness in the world. Is there really an answer? Why is the answer seemingly so hard to find? To change our life, to change our story and how we react to what happens. It's not so easy because it seems very difficult to really know how life works. In fact, we often think that things just happen. But is this really true? How would it be if we understood how life works, if we understood what drives us to do what we do? And what drives the difficult situations we struggle to manage? A group of researchers have been asking these questions and have been on a quest to understand just this. To find out how life works. It is a scientific research. We will try to explain the core of what these researchers have found so far. From 30 years of this research, they discovered that our life has a script, and this script has been laid down over time, through the story of our ancestors. And this story is not in a book, but it has been recorded in every person's DNA. Because it seems that DNA is like a video recorder that can record events and play them back. It seems that the unknown part of our DNA, the 80% of DNA that science often struggles to understand, is actually a record of the events from our past generations, of our ancestors' lives. Understanding this would help explain why the DNA of human beings is very complex, and also a very long chain of molecular structures, made up of many elements, to store this immense story going back so far. You may ask the question, why is there such a molecular structure, called the DNA? To answer this question, we need to understand how this experience that we call life, this story, is formulated. It seems that our perceptions are what formulate our reality, and perception is the single most important ingredient that gives us a sense of consciousness, a sense of existence, of feeling alive, and which in turn creates our story. We now understand it is this sense of knowing, which is generated by our sensory organs, is what creates the data, the memories, that actually formulates our DNA. Much like a hard drive in a computer, DNA is the component which uses its molecular structure to store the memories, or data, generated by the perceptions of all physical life forms. If we expand this analogy of the computer hard drive further, to explain what we are saying here, the more story we need to record, the larger the hard drive we will need. So, after billions of years of evolution of this universe, the human DNA is so very complex, because we represent the latest manifestation of consciousness. The data compiled and stored in our DNA, will act as the basis for the formulae, that in turn, will give us our future reality, which will create our actions, that will then create new data and memories. This seems to be the process of life, so on, and so forth. And this seems to be how our DNA chain is formed and compiled, to drive the evolution of life forms. In other words, the past realities, the past actions, and past reactions, are what formulate our current DNA, which then controls every aspect of our life. This has been the quest of the research team, to help people change their script, and free themselves from the story that they inherited, which is recorded in their DNA. This research work is not easy, and seems to require an intention to understand things right back to the root. These researchers feel that this research may never end, but, already they feel that the findings, seem to confirm their approach. They constantly question themselves, and are consistently seeking feedback from those who have trusted them, in using the findings in their daily lives, findings that we can actually change our scripts, our story, and unbind ourselves from the fates and the difficulties of our ancestors. This is a new enactment of our inherited story, a reinterpretation of the history of our ancestors, that can in turn give us a new reality, a new future. It is a new script for our life that seems to change the messaging system of our DNA, thus creating this new reality and new hope for our future. How has this group of researchers been able to do this? Through finding completely new methods to reprogram our mind, to react and perceive differently, more neutrally, more positively, with more kindness, towards the situations and people that we face in our lives. Practically, this is done through their education courses, their products, and their treatment services, several of which can be accessed online, from around the world. Also, their clients can learn a new methodology called reprogramming, where we can ourselves change how we are in our daily lives. And, from their understanding, since our mind is what is creating our physical body, it is the reprogramming of our mindsets that will change our physical aspects, bringing us more health and longevity. This research team is very happy to share their more complete findings. Thank you.